morning. Good morning. This is Rebecca Simon Peter, Reverend Rebecca Simon Peter with Spiritual Mojo. 15 minutes to uphold your spirit, uplift your consciousness, and up level your faith. Today's going to be a really special day. I'm going to talk about some personal stuff. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence and the spirituality of aging. Now, Spiritual Mojo is good for people of all ages. And so I'd love for you to just, you know, put a comment there about where you are. If you want to tell us your age, that's awesome. There's so much weird stuff about age in the United States, maybe in the world today, that if you reach a certain age, you're sort of, not relevant anymore, not good. And I'm here to tell you that is so not the truth. We're going to talk about the spirituality of aging. So recently I turned 60, the big 60. I can't say I was really excited about it. I'm going to tell you the truth. In fact, I was kind of nervous because 60, that's like old, isn't it? And really, the only milestone birthday without a five that I was excited about was 20, like 10, 20. And then I thought, 30, that's sort of downhill. 40, oh no, 50, 60, they weren't good numbers. But the truth is that those numbers were incredible. You couldn't pay me to go back to 20. No, siree, no. When I was 30 is when I entered seminary and a whole new world opened up to me. When I was 40, I got married to the love of my life, Jerry Gonzalez. When I was 50, my life began to come together in ways I never could have imagined, never could have predicted. I started creating a culture of renewal, the premier 3-year group coaching program that we offer to church leaders around the country. I was writing books. I was enjoying my life. I was in my own ministry. And I would say the 50s were sort of the power decade. The 60s, though, I wasn't too sure about. It was just about a week ago that I turned 60, and I had the privilege of attending a conscious aging seminar on my birthday. Conscious aging. Oh, it was really, really neat. And I want to tell you about that because there's an emotional intelligence to understanding your power, to understanding your personal agency, to understanding the choices that you get to make about how you're going to live and how that impacts the people around you. Emotional intelligence has a number of components. There's self-awareness, there's self-regulation, there's social skill, there's empathy, there's motivation. There's all this sort of being in charge of yourself and understanding the impact you have on the people around you and the impact that you and God together have. So, emotional intelligence is super important, especially when it comes to spirituality, because spirituality is the way you make sense of things, the way your spirit, your inner spirit connects with the world around you, and the way you go deep within to connect with God. So, if you have a word to say about your own spirituality or your own emotional intelligence, I'd love to have that in the comments section too, because I think it's always really interesting to hear what people see in themselves. In this conscious aging seminar, we were invited to reflect on two questions. And the first question is, what would you say to your younger self, as if you were talking to your own good friend? What would you now say to your younger self? It's a good question. As you listen to what I'm going to share, I invite you to put responses in the comment section too, so that you can reflect out loud, as it were. Here's what I wrote to my younger self. I sort of imagined myself maybe in my 30s. Here's what I wrote. You're doing great. You're on the right track. It keeps getting better as you go. You're beautiful, smart, witty, capable. You have such a great future ahead of you. Don't be so hard on yourself. I admire how much you've given yourself to recovery. I love how you explore new ways of knowing things and how you explore God. Keep paying attention to what feels good and right in your heart. You can trust yourself to know the way. Seek out counsel that you trust. Let go of the counselors that don't seem right to you. You will outgrow some people, and that's okay. Let them go. Know they were part of your journey, and everything comes to you for a reason. Treasure it all, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment. Don't freak. Be gentle with it all. That's what came out when I was asked that question. What would I say to my younger self? And I'll tell you, it felt so good to be able to write that. You can tell what some of my concerns were as a younger person. Am I okay? Am I on the right track? How's it going to be? What's life going to be like? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do? What does it mean if I seem to be outgrowing some people? Is it me or is it them? Is there something wrong here? All of that were the questions that I had as a young person, which I intuitively knew and could address as I wrote to myself as a younger person. You have concerns too. And when you write to yourself as a younger person, you're going to be able to assuage some of that worry, some of that concern. The cool thing about it is not only does it address the younger you, somehow it has a reverberating positive effect and addresses the current you. The second question that we were asked to reflect on is what would my older self say to me? As though talking to a good friend. What would my older self say to me? Well, this was really powerful, and I think this was what I needed even more than the first set. Here's my older self. No need to be afraid. It all turns out well. Some things will be sad, and you have what it takes. Give yourself time and space to breathe and be with it, even to find the beauty in it. Life changes. You will change with it. You're designed for this. No need to worry or fret. The ancestors are waiting for you. Heaven is a step away. The world will continue to confound and worry and somehow keep spinning on. Your companions on the journey will be there, and sometimes they'll change, but you will always have companions. No need to worry or fret. You have staying power. Your soul, your inner being, your wisdom. It's there for you, always. Externally changing circumstances cannot change that. You are eternal. It was so beautiful to receive this message from my older self. It just felt like all my concerns and worries were taken care of. They were addressed. The older self me knew what the younger me, the current me, is worrying about. Is it going to be okay? Am I going to have people as I age? But just that sense of heaven is a step away. The ancestors, we call them the great cloud of witnesses. They're waiting for me. It's almost like life, starts in this one area where we with God and come from God, and we travel through life and we wind up with God, back with God. And it's that middle part that's sometimes worrisome. How's this part going to be? What I discovered as I wrote to myself is that there really is no need to worry, to fret, to fear, because it all does turn out well. It has turned out well, it's going to turn out well, and even the hard things will be okay. Now, you may have some concerns like that too, and I just want to encourage you to spend some time having those sort of conversations with yourself because it will help you tap deep into your spirituality. If you're a leader and if you're leading in the world of faith, it's so important for you to be deeply connected to your spirituality, to your inner spirit, to the way God speaks directly to you, to know who you are, and to know that you are okay. Because it's through that deep inner connection that all of our genius flows, all of our faith flows, all of our concern, our abilities in the world. It all flows from that deeply grounded inner spiritual place. And so spending time with ourselves, especially in milestone times, is very, very life-giving. It's very important and it's very life-giving. Those are the wells of salvation, if you will, those internal wells of salvation. Jesus went and spent so much time with his Father, his God, his Spirit. And it's so important for us to do that. We may or may not find our concerns directly reflected in the Bible, but none of our concerns are without merit. None of them are unspiritual. All of them are things that can be taken to the realm of the Spirit to have our questions answered, to have our fears assuaged, to have our lives uplifted. And that's really what Spiritual Mojo is all about. So I'm so pleased to be able to share with you these very personal reflections that I've had on my 60th birthday I really welcome any reflections that you'd like to share with me. I'd love this community. It means so much to me to be able to share with you week in and week out and to hear back from you. And whether you're watching live or you watch later, your comments are always welcome because what I really want is for this spiritual mojo to go out into the world and to make a difference for people and for you to be able to tap in to your own spiritual mojo as you give forth out in the world. Now, it's always important to me too that you have a sense that you are loved and that you are good and that God is with you. And so I think that's the message for today. No matter what your age and no matter whatever it is you're feeling about it, please know how much you matter. You matter on the earth, you matter to the people you lead, you matter in your family. Most of all, and completely unbreakably, you matter to God. So that's the word of Spiritual Mojo today. And if you've enjoyed this broadcast, I encourage you to leave a like or a heart on this video. Share it around, share it on your Facebook profile. You can also share the video link with someone who can really benefit from hearing this message. If you know somebody who's freaking out a little bit about aging, this could be it. And then do me a favor, check out our new website, RebeccaSimonPeter.com. Go there to download the Dare to Dream Like Jesus plan, which is designed to empower you and your people to dream big dreams. You can read more about it also in my book, Dream Like Jesus, available on the website. And go today with God's grace, no matter your age, no matter what you're feeling. Speak to your younger self. Let your older self speak to you and know that all shall be well. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. God bless.